Good afternoon, I'm Joey Francisco and this is One News Now. 3 days before the opening of classes, parents scramble to secure the learning modules of their children. Some schools meanwhile start the distribution of learning gadgets provided by the government. Pat Mangune has this report.
Today is the deadline for parents of students enrolled at Commonwealth Elementary School in Quezon City to claim their learning materials. These are modules, worksheets, and books that will be used beginning October 5, the official start of classes. To avoid overcrowding in the campus, the school made sure to schedule the pickup of the materials one grade level per day. Wisel Tamundong was able to claim the modules of her 6th grader son at the last minute. She said being hands-on to monitor her son's studies will be challenging amid the pandemic.
Focus na lang sa bata na yung oras ng pag-aaral. May time ng pag-aaral, may time ng sa pagluluto or paglilinis. Kaya kailangan po namin i-focus yung sarili namin sa bata kasi katulad po niyan, walang face-to-face.
For kinder to elementary students, the school has decided to provide self-learning modules. Teachers, however, will still be available for queries through text, call, or online chat. They will also be required to check and grade the worksheets of the students weekly.
Once in a while, magkakaroon sila ng schedule na pumunta dito para kunin yung mga i-check. Mag-check din kasi sila, magre-record din sila. Pero dapat naka-schedule yun.
Meanwhile, Batasan National High School has adopted 3 modalities of learning. Students have an option to get a copy of self-learning modules, download the digital versions, or take virtual classes. Today, the school started distributing the tablets provided by the local government of Quezon City. But the condition is, students have to take care of the gadgets because they will have to return them at the end of the academic year.
It is safer for the children and also so I can monitor because I am the guardian. I am the guardian. She stays with me, so I can monitor her. I can coach her because I am a retired government official.
The school said all their teachers are prepared for the first day of classes under the so-called new normal. Their teaching personnel will primarily work from their own homes. And because of this setup, teachers will need internet connection, which sometimes can be unstable.
Since April pa, the teachers were prepared, no? Especially on the learning modalities, the trainings, the seminars.
Hindi naman natin maiwasan, katulad nga po nung connection ng ating internet, minsan talaga humihina o kaya ang worst po na nawawala pa. Hopefully, during classes, wag po mangyari ron kasi ba.
School authorities said the printed and downloaded digital modules will be used as backup if they encounter internet problems. For News 5, Patricia Mangune, we are One News.
Various groups call out the government's supposed failure in ensuring safe and quality education amid the pandemic. Among those who trooped to the Education Department's central office earlier today were members of the Alliance of Concerned Teachers. They said with only 3 days left before the opening of classes, students and teachers continue to face challenges on the so-called blended learning.
Hindi po handa ang Department of Education, palpak ang Duterte government, palpak si Secretary Briones na tugunan ang pangailangan ng ligtas na balik eskwela.
Meanwhile, the Philippines places 20th among countries with the most number of COVID-19 infections. But the Health Department says, fret not, as this does not exactly define the country's anti-COVID progress. For the details, Greg Gregorio is reporting to us live from Mandaluyong City. Greg, how did the government react to this issue?
Joey, again, the Department of Health insists that the government response to the COVID-19 pandemic has tremendously improved. Latest data from the Johns Hopkins University show that the Philippines has already recorded more than 214,000 infections. With that, the country has now entered the list of 20 nations with the most number of cases worldwide. We are now just one slot below Italy which was once considered the epicenter of the global health crisis. But the DOH downplayed this, saying the ranking is purely based on the cumulative number of infections. Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere explained that this excludes the number of active cases, recoveries, and fatality rate, which are important considerations. Vergere underscored that the number of our weekly new cases has dropped to around 3,700 by end of September as compared to 16,000 in early August. She added that the nationwide contact tracing rate has increased to 1:5 to 10 case to close contact from the previous 1:2 to 3 ratio. The official also noted that the government's expanded testing across the country has already covered 3.5 million individuals. As for today's COVID-19 update, the DOH reported more than 2,600 new infections, bringing the case tally to over 316,000, some 56,000 of which are considered active. The virus killed 56 patients in the past 24 hours, pushing the nationwide death toll to more than 5,600. Meanwhile, some 254,000 have gotten better from the disease, with 460 new recoveries reported today. Jovi, the DOH emphasizes that even though the country's COVID-19 response is improving, the public should not be complacent. This as the government and various manufacturers around the world are still working for the availability of vaccines as soon as possible. Jovi?
Thank you, Greg Gregorio, reporting live from Mandaluyong City. We'll have more stories after this short break. Stay with us. Welcome back. A lawmaker is urging Marinduque Representative Lord Alan Velasco and his allies to resign from their leadership positions. In a privileged speech, Capi 2nd District Representative Fredinil Castro said leadership positions should be given to lawmakers who are willing to cooperate. Castro was named House Deputy Speaker this afternoon, made a statement as Velasco urged incumbent Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano to honor their term-sharing deal. Cayetano on Wednesday offered to resign from the post, but the move was swiftly rejected by members of the lower house.
Panindigan na nila ito. Resign your leadership positions and let those who are willing to help and cooperate take over. There is no shame in admitting defeat.
In other stories, the no beep card, no ride policy took the center stage during today's transportation budget hearing at the Senate. Mel Los Baños with the report.
Senators are asking the Transportation Department to lower the prices of beep cards being sold to commuters traversing the EDSA busway. Each card currently sells for 180 pesos. Only 100 pesos is consumable as the card itself is priced at 80 pesos. During today's budget hearing, Transportation Secretary Arthur Tugade told senators they are looking at waiving the card fees.
Dapat po yung card mismo, akin pong hangarin, ay libre, lalo tigit kung maglolot ka. Hindi ka na makukuha ng card na hindi ka maglolot. Kaya kung maglolot ka, dapat wala na hong bayad yung card.
The senators also questioned the 60 peso minimum load for each beep card. They said not all passengers can afford this, especially during this time of pandemic.
Baka pwede wala na hong ganung minimum requirement na yung 65 pesos dun sa beep card, hindi mo pwedeng galawin.
During the hearing, senators expressed disappointment at the progress of DOTR's Bus Rapid Transit or BRT projects. For one, Binay said some 7 billion pesos has been allocated to the transport project in Cebu since 2015, but until now, it has not materialized.
We should seriously rethink this project because utang nga ito at it's been 5 years, walang nangyayari doon sa proyekto. Kawawa naman yung mga kababayan natin din sa Cebu.
The same goes with the Metro Manila Bus Rapid Transit Line 1 in Quezon Avenue. It has been funded 5 billion pesos but no structure has been built until now. The DOTR said they have so far secured environment clearance and terms of reference for the project, while the BRT Line 2 project is shelved already. Binay also zeroed in on the barriers placed along EDSA. DOTR Undersecretary Timothy Batan said the barriers are part of its pre-pandemic busway project worth 500 million pesos. He said the department spent 154 million pesos for the project and another 32 million pesos for the bus stops. Senators then urged the DOTR to ensure the safety of the barriers, especially if they will be used permanently or even after the pandemic. Reporting for News 5, Mean Los Baños, we are One News.
More tourists have started arriving at the Boracay Island, but hotel owners admit it might take months before they start recovering from their losses. Jenny Dongon with the story.
Renalyn Macato traveled all the way from Las Piñas to enjoy Boracay's authentic white sand. She is part of the second batch of visitors from Manila. Some of us may recognize Renalyn as the woman who recently went viral on social media for her swimsuit photos at the so-called Manila Bay Sands.
Susulitin ko na po to. Kasi sabi nila sabik daw ako sa beach eh. Kaya yun.
We also came across tourists from Western Visayas. One of them is Raymond, who says he finds comfort in the stringent health protocols being implemented in the popular tourist destination.
Una is mahirap siya pero kailangan natin is i-follow lang yung protocols po at saka yung mga restrictions. Hindi naman po natatakot as long as i-comply lang po nila yung hinihingi po ng municipality.
Some hotels use UV light to regularly disinfect rooms. Hotel personnel also undergo regular swab tests to ensure the safety of guests.
With the protocols that we have in place, I think that is something that we can actually manage as long as you keep your PPEs, you do proper distancing, health and hygiene.
Hotel manager Erwin Lopez admits that despite the reopening of Boracay, it might take them another 3 months to actually start earning.
We have to lower down the rates so that we can keep the ball rolling. But at the same time, there are a lot of expenses that was added to how it used to be. Let alone yung mga disinfection processes.
Aklan Governor Florencio Miraflores once again assures tourists that Boracay is safe. A medical team, he says, is always on standby in case guests start manifesting COVID-19 symptoms. Hotels, which have been accredited by the Tourism Department, have also designated health and safety officers. For News 5, Jenny Dongon, PR 1 News.
News abroad, U.S. President Donald Trump confirms he and wife Melania have tested positive for COVID-19. This comes after Trump's top advisor and trusted aide, Hope Hicks, also contracted the deadly virus. The American president added that they will start the quarantine and recovery process immediately. Trump and his staff regularly do not wear face masks, despite keeping a tight travel schedule across the country as the U.S. presidential elections draw near. For more updates, follow News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Jovi Francisco. We are One News.